solution. And my objective and what I'm doing is I'm offering the solution. But if something's not clear, then Daniel is helping by making it clear by asking questions about the solution, just to make it, to improve clarity so it's not confusing. So we both have our little, duty here. My duty is to teach, doctor means to teach. And we're going to teach about how to get healthier and how the system works. And then Daniel's job is to learn, right? Pator, he's going to act like a patient. He is actually a patient. So pator is the Latin that comes from patient, or it's the original root word of patient, which means to learn. Okay, so the first part is where you should have already filled out a...
I filled out like 8 forms.
Yeah, the one that the listener would have filled out would be the one that's a type form. That's called it's called chronic fatigue syndrome, and it looks like this. Are people able to see my screen? It looks a lot like this.
Make it a little bit bigger.
Oh, good, it's working, okay.
And move
Looks
it
like
over.
there's some blonde lady who's not very happy there.
Yeah, she's not happy at all. Tired.
So you will have already filled that out. And that's the most important starting point. That's where we really start to understand, what's the pattern that's happening with your health. Think of me as like, I'm just looking at this lady's rings. Okay, those rings are telling something about her health. Since you can't see her face, you gotta focus on the rings. So the thing that we want to do is understand what the pattern is that's happening with your health. So that's the whole point of this assessment. We don't know what the pattern is unless you go through the process of filling this out. This goes on forever, it looks like. And so you will have already done that. So if you're listening to this now, then you're like way ahead of the game. You went through this whole process.
Have that on your site.
Yeah, that's on my site, but they will have gotten to it somehow. If you wanted to find it on my site, you just go to triadofhealth.net. And then you click on, you just go down a little bit and you'll see these blue rectangles. And one of them says chronic fatigue here on the home page or any other page. So let's say we go to the About page. It's still going to be there in the purple. There's a whole bunch of squares. Yeah, and you just go to the one that says chronic fatigue. I think they're going to have another way to get to it, though, Daniel. I think it's just going to be different than this. But yeah, this is triadofhealth.net.
To it as possible.
Possible they can get it here, yeah.
Click YouTube, your office, every place you can possibly put it. People need this.
Uh-oh. Okay, I have my responsibilities now.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say... Okay, let's say you're watching this and you're thinking to yourself, like, what the heck, Yeah, I have chronic fatigue, but why should I be listening to you? Like, what are you going to do to help me? Well, that's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you what we're going to do. We're not trying to convince you. We've had better results helping people with chronic fatigue than anyone in any other part of at least the state. So we're in Northern California. So anyone in the northern part of California, and we've had really good results with pretty much, that's almost as good as anyone anywhere, because the therapies we use are really unique. It's not the therapies so much as the system that we're using the therapies with. So we're using herbs, homeopathy, nutrition, flower essences, and energy medicine in a way that's very unique. It's sort of a very directed approach. We'll even do emotional therapies and other therapies like chiropractic. It just depends. If we're working together mainly on the phone, then that's going to be limited. It depends on the program that you're on, but probably just mainly be doing the herbs and the nutrition that are laser sharp, focused on exactly what are the underlying causes of your health challenges. By the way, are you feeling any better, or what happened? It's been 2 weeks since you.
Well,
I didn't prompt you, but
it's been a rough month. Yes, I am feeling better. About a week and a half ago, I had like the most severe sinus infection that I've ever had in my life, and I was bedridden for like 5 days with like severe pain in my face because when it's swelled up, and then I have a nerve a nerve plexus that gets irritated and irritates the nerve. It makes me kind of want to scratch my face off, and so I wasn't very doing very well. Uh, and I knew Ilya was coming on the show, so I asked him to help me out, and he sent me some nutritional supplements from, what was the company again?
Standard process,
Which is a natural
Wisconsin. Yeah.
natural supplement company, and they're a little different than everybody else. They're one, and I was really impressed by their product because I took antibiotics, and that was like ripping up my stomach. And after I stopped taking those and got on the supplements, then I started getting my energy back. I felt more normal, as far as normal as I can for how this year has been. I've been working about like 80 hours a week every week since January.
Oh man.
We moved into this new clinic, and then we had this pandemic happen, and we had a software problem with our billing, and it's been kind of one thing after another. It's probably been one of the most stressful years of my life. But we're making progress, we're moving forward day after day, and I've realized like I have to really take care of myself, or else this business where we help people is not going to survive. So that's why I sought out you, Dr. Skolnikoff.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're feeling a bit better. Yeah, people will go at whatever pace they want to go at. So, yeah, let's talk about that. That's really, really important. So we'll talk about that right now. I never gave you that paper, but if you go to tryitofhealth.net and then you click on where it says learning, and then you click on where it says what to expect, there's a form there. That's called Path to Health. It's very, very, very colorful. Maybe I should send you a text message of it just in case you want to do something with the form.
Yeah, that's great. Pictures are good. Pictures.
You should have it now on your text message. I don't know what you're going to do with it. I don't know if you want me to email it to you or whatever, but can they see it, do you think, or not? Whoops. Uh-oh.
Share your screen again.
My bad. My bad. Technical difficulties. Okay.
So tell us about like just like the building. So you're working with me. I filled out all these different forms on the different body systems, and what are like the building blocks? How do you start the process of breaking down what's wrong with somebody? Like, how do you start putting the pieces together, or
I'm glad you asked. Okay.
Unraveling the ball of yarn?
Thank you for asking that. Not only do I love you, but so does God, Daniel. I just wanted to let you know about that. So you will have already filled out the chronic fatigue assessment. So that's going to tell me a lot about what your health puzzle is. So you would have already filled that out. And then you also filled out some additional forms that are called like a metabolic assessment form, and there's one that's called a system survey form. So those are telling me about what are the systems of your body that aren't working properly. So it's just thinking, again, this is a system that we put together over more than 15 years. We've been doing this for years and years and years. So it's not like, it may seem a little magical since we're not face-to-face. Well, I have met you face-to-face, but even if I hadn't, your forms are going to tell me what is happening with the different systems of your body. So I guess, it's not so much, do I have an explanation? It's more like, that is the explanation. Instead of paying, $1,795 for some fancy labs that might get you some information. You're telling me exactly what's wrong by the way you filled out these forms, okay? So you've already done that. The forms are filled out. They're really clear. And I don't want to, definitely don't want to embarrass you. You're giving me permission to talk about your health on this, right?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, you're taking a few medications. It looks like what happened? How come they're not on here? They are on here. You circled some of them on the neurotransmitter assessment.
Yeah, I couldn't get them all on there. And then I was going to send them to you, but they're out, stuck on my computer at home. But
Okay. Don't worry about it too much because we talked about it just out loud. We talked about it sort of.
Well, here, I'll say, here's what I do to stay sane, literally. So I'm on an antidepressant, and let's talk about my history a little bit. I have struggled with like a severe anxiety disorder since I was 18 years old, and depression, and been diagnosed with chronic PTSD. And some of that stems from most of it stems from my childhood, and some of it's genetics. So I'm on like an antidepressant, like multiple anti-anxiety medications. And then I take modafinil so that I can stay awake because the anxiety medications make me tired. And then my nervous system is, people that meet me wouldn't know, but like they think I'm pretty laid back, but my nervous system is always really keyed up.
Right.
So I have a really tough time getting to sleep at night. So I take medications to get to sleep.
Yeah.
What we were taught, like going through school and everything, is this just snowballs into more and more. And this last year, it's been so stressful. I've seen my medications almost like double, and it's starting to scare me. And there's something I need to do about it.
Yeah.
That's the summary.
So that whoever's, the people listening to this, I'm going to already have done the health history with each person, by the time they're either before or after they watch this video, right? So that's how we're going to get all the information, because they will have filled out the forms and we will have done the health history for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes or so to get all the information that we need. Then once we understand what the pattern is that's happening with your health, then we can start to go over the plan. So, okay, so I'm probably not going to have too many people taking as many medications as you are. I'm just not going to accept them. So if you are taking meds and you are watching this and you have been accepted, you're going to have to pay extra money. Okay, it's just the way it is. It's going to be a lot more difficult to help somebody who's taking, especially if you're taking more than one medication, which, by the way, in this country, at age 65, the average person's taking 2 or more medications. I don't have the exact stats for people under 65, but I believe over half the population is taking 1 or more medications. I could be off a little bit, but that's my understanding of how it works in the United States. Do you have a stat on it?
I don't have a specific stat, but I'm almost positive that it might be 2 to 3 times what you just said.
Yeah, so it's 50% or higher for all age groups, because a lot of little kids are taking medications now for things like what Daniel's talking about, anxiety or ADD or something like that. PTS, not PT, well, ADD usually. Okay, so if you look at this path to health chart, we can see that it just goes over healing that anyone will have when they're going from getting an infection to feeling better, or having an injury to feeling better, or they're just going to get healthier, okay? So we lovingly and affectionately call it the path to health chart, or Dr. Ilya Skolnikoff's path to health chart.
It's totally yours. You own it.
I own this thing.
Yeah, you own that.
Right. So the other thing that we'll call it is the custom tailored and personalized program. And they can see it then, Daniel, or not?
Yeah, right there is good. Right there. Okay. That's good.
So it takes about a year to go through the entire path to health chart. So, people always get a little bit down and out, hearing that it's going to take a whole year, but it does. It takes about a year. I'm not going to lie to you. The thing that we realized when we were here in America talking about people waiting a year to feel better is that nobody wants to wait that long. So we put together a new plan that's not called the custom tailored and personalized program, which is a year, which has 6 steps: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, symptom relief, correction, and strengthening of whatever organ or gland is causing the health concern, and then helping with brain function so you can think more clearly, have more energy, get you to the point where you're feeling good, and then things kind of flow well from that point. There's a lot less of an emergency to help you with your health. It's like the hot, the torching fire with the big flames has gone out. Now there's just a little bit of coals down there at the bottom. But at any rate, since the whole thing takes about a year, just these first, and it's 6 steps. These first 2 steps are called the improved custom tailored and personalized program, not the custom tailored and personalized program, but the improved custom tailored and personalized program for steps 1 and 2. So just symptom relief and correction and strengthening. I'm not much of a computer guy, but if you were to just kind of imagine that we covered up, if we just have the symptom relief, like, you're tired, and let's say you weigh too much weight, let's say you're 20 pounds overweight. I'm not saying you are, but maybe you are. Okay, so if you are exhausted and 20 pounds overweight and you want to feel good and lose 20 pounds to the point where you have plenty of energy throughout the day, that's gonna take some lifestyle changes. It's gonna be some work. So what'll happen is when we do the lifestyle changes that bring us from the symptoms to the I feel good phase, then and we use the herbs and the nutrition, depending upon how quickly and effectively you do the lifestyle changes, that's what allows us to get to the I feel good phase. So I know I'm oversimplifying this with lots of intention. So if we start feeling good right away, that means that you don't really have a correction and strengthening, and there isn't really any neurologic hormone and brain support. You just feel good. But it's a trick, see? That's not the way it's not how it really works, even though you might feel good. What happens is if we remove the barriers to healing, let's say you were using a hairspray that was really toxic and you no longer are using it, or you were drinking orange juice every morning and just theoretically you're allergic to oranges and orange juice, then just not doing those things would allow you to feel good, right? But we don't want you to feel good if you've had chronic fatigue for many, many years. Like Daniel's saying, he's had things going on since he was a kid. So we don't want him to feel good and have everything going great, and he doesn't even need any medication, which would be a major, big deal for him.
We don't want that fast?
Well, we don't want that to happen, and then all of a sudden all your symptoms come back immediately within 6 months or 10 months.
Yeah, that would be horrible.
Yeah, it would be like you're all excited for 6 months or 10 months. Everything's great. You're happy. Life's going good. Girlfriend's happy. Mom, dad's happy. Your dog is happy. Like everything's going great. I'm excited for you.
Dogs.
Yeah, you paid me some money. I received the money. Everything's going well, and then all your symptoms come back. It's like that sucks. That's terrible, right? We don't want that. Okay, so we want you to get better and then stay feeling better. We want you to we want you to get well as fast as we can, but also as slowly as we need to for you to get the long lasting and permanent results that we're looking for. So I do not have this written down anywhere. I don't know, but I'll just go over it out loud.
Well, I'll pause you just for 1 second. So what I'm hearing you saying is that we want our bodies to be functioning properly, not just symptom free. So that
right.
Correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
So we have to address what caused the symptoms.
Exactly. So symptoms aren't necessarily the root cause.
Symptoms are just the warning sign that something's not working right. Pain is good. Pain means, wow, you better change whatever you're doing that caused that pain. Otherwise, you're still going to have pain. You know, like a person who has heart pain, right? Right where their heart is, you know, and it's a sharp pain and it makes them feel kind of worried. You know, that would be a sign that something needs to change right away and in a big way, because if you have a heart attack, you're dead. Maybe you could possibly die. I mean, it's the #1 cause of death in the United States, at least. Heart attack, stroke, and then cancer is like way down, number 4 or 5 or something. So, so yeah, but it doesn't mean that the pain is bad. It means that something needs to be done. And we don't want to just do something to get rid of the pain. We want to get to whatever caused that pain to begin with, right? I mean, so that you can have the pain go away and not come back. Okay. So I didn't write it down, but anyone who's watching this, you know, I don't know if you're driving, you can't do this, but you can just listen. You take out a pen, you write down these 4 words, number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 1 word is water. 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 I have this in a video somewhere.
I got some. I'm
gonna get my video. This is ridiculous. Okay. So water. The next word is protein. The next word is blood sugar.
Spring water, because there's not a lot of Poland spring water. Is that okay?
What kind?
Poland spring water from Maine.
I don't know.
pH is.
It's not one of the ones on our list. It's probably okay, but you have to look at the ingredients and see if they use reverse osmosis.
No, they do not. I made sure that they do not.
Okay. So there's a good chance it's okay.
Why is reverse osmosis bad?
Let me change this. Let me get to this point so they can see this really quick. Oh my God. This is like a quick
Infographic.
Quick break. It's supposed to be like my ad. I don't know what happened here. My video. Let's try it again.
We can see it, but we can't hear it from this end.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I can't fast forward in my own thing here.
You had subtitles, then that's what you should have in all your videos, subtitles.
Well, okay.
Look in YouTube.
I don't know why, but anyway, it's water, protein, blood sugar, and digestion. So those are the things that we want to work on. I think I have it over here. Okay, so water, how much water we drink, how often we drink water, and what kind of water we drink has a huge amount to do with our health. Oh, here it is. I got it here, I think.
Okay.
How often to drink water, and
Um,
the next day.
Blood sugar, protein. Oh, wow. Went away.
Good in that video.
Okay. Yay, we got the 4 words on the screen.
Awesome.
And I really suffered through that.
That is
Okay,
exciting.
look.
You did good.
Not, go ahead.
You did good. You did well. Water was the big thing I think that made a difference to getting over that sickness. Also, I just started chugging spring water, like a pint and a half a day, and
Okay.
that makes a big difference.
Yeah. We didn't even go over the other ones with you yet, Daniel.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine if we finished going through all 4 of them? You would be 75% better than you are now.
I know. I'm excited for that.
The other 3, I mean, not 4. Okay.
See, well, let's go. Let's start with water. Why is water so?
I'm laughing because this is like, I've done this for like 15 years. It's just getting to the point where it's like a comedy show. But anyway.
Yeah, you should have fun with it. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. When I talk to patients, it's just over and over the same thing. But it's still new to them. And still, I may know what you're going to say, but I might not also. So I'm curious.
So in a newborn baby, 90% of the newborn baby is made out of water. And according to, this is real classy, I was being a little sarcastic, but according to Richard Gerber, who wrote Vibrational Medicine,
Mhm.
he's saying 99% of humans are made out of water. I don't agree with him. I'm not trying to put him down. I love the guy and I love the book, but I'd say it's about 75% of a human is made out of water. That's what most of the experts are agreeing to. So as you can imagine, if your body is 75% water, if you have the wrong kind of water, you're gonna not to be feeling too good. You know what I mean? You're gonna be feeling a little bit lousy from day to day. So what kind of water you drink makes a big, big difference. And we have a sheet that we have shared with you, or we're gonna share it with you, and it goes over the water, okay? It's called water.
Huh.
So let me get you the sheet. Go ahead, we're gonna say something?
That's a good name for a sheet about water.
Water is a pretty not too bad name for a sheet about water. It's a functioning name. Water post exam. I mean, there's different names for the sheet, but here's the sheet. Can they see that?
Yep.
Thank the Lord. God bless all of us. God bless you, Daniel. God bless me, and God bless our listeners and viewers.
God bless.
God bless. If you don't believe in God, don't worry about it. Just bless anything you want. Okay. You don't believe in blessing, just do it your own way.
Yeah.
So you'd want to drink at least a quart for every 50 pounds of body weight. So how much do you weigh, Daniel?
I weigh about 190 pounds right now. I'm a little overweight.
Okay, so you need to be drinking 2.5 times more water than you're currently drinking. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but I just wanted to let you know.
I should drink 2.5 times more water than I'm currently drinking.
Yeah, you said you were drinking 1.5 pints. So if we do 1.5 times 2.5, we get 3.75 pints. I would drink a little bit more than 2.5 times what you're currently drinking.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know about that particular water you're drinking. It sounds pretty good. It is a spring water. I just don't have enough information about it to advise about it. Okay.
Mhm.
So I don't want to do that. But
Sponsored.
here's a list of waters that seem to work quite well for my patients. The only one that's, oh yeah, they're all here. Except I think this one's called Purely Sedona Artesian Spring Water. It's not called Simply Sedona. It's called.
The only one I could find was Crystal Geyser. I started with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
And because we don't have Whole Foods, that's really the only one in my area, probably in North Dakota, that you're going to find easily. But and then I got the Poland spring water off Amazon. It's had something
What kind of
else.
spring water?
It's called Poland spring water.
Say it again.
Poland spring water.
Oh, well, let's just hope it's okay. Is that a glass container or is it plastic or?
That's plastic. It's probably not good, right? Well, most water comes
I don't know.
It's plastic.
I researched, I independently researched Crystal Geyser and the Crystal Geyser Company, and so far so good. I mean, I haven't really run into anyone ever that had a problem with Crystal Geyser. There was one lady that I heard rumors about that didn't do well with the water, but I don't know if it's true. I'm suspecting it actually was, and she didn't do well with it. It was like one person, one time, one place ever that had problem with that water.
If it doesn't do well with water, what happens?
Well, it just means it's not the right water for them. They don't feel, oh, what a good question. Okay. So if you're drinking the wrong kind of water for your body, you're going to have terrible, it's going to affect your health negatively. It's going to contribute to symptoms. It's going to contribute to poor health instead of contributing to health and contributing to getting rid of the symptoms. You'll become more dehydrated rather than hydrated. Again, this is not meant to be the comedy hour, which I'm making it into, but there's some books about water that I have over here. This one's called You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty. I'm pretty sure they can see it. What do you think?
Not sick. Yep, you can see it. You're not sick, you're thirsty. Correct.
Yeah, so that one's by F. Batmang Helij, MD. And he wrote this other book, the same book, Your Body's Many Cries for Water.
Okay, Your Body's Many Cries for Water by who you said.
Yeah, wasn't very well either. his name. So yeah, and he's saying basically that people aren't getting sick, they're dehydrated. So a lot of these prescription medications that people are needing to take are being given to them because they're so dehydrated they can't function well. They're treating dehydration with prescription medications. It makes no sense. They need to become better hydrated. They need to metabolize the water better. They need to utilize the water better. They need to absorb the water better. It's not just how much water they drink, it's how much water they drink and metabolize and absorb. And we help with all of those using the Skolnikoff method, the new medicines. It's not I'm not claiming it's a quick fix. I'm not saying that, but we actually help with that. Okay.
Problem with the medication is once you start it, it's very hard to stop it because medications are very powerful. That's been my experience.
Once you start a medication without the Skolnikoff method, the new medicine, it's not only difficult to stop the medication, in some instances, it can be very, very close to impossible. The only way to do it without the Skolnikoff method is to have incredible thoughts and beliefs that are very focused and directed towards accomplishing the end result of stopping the medication. It needs to be a burning desire from the minute the person wakes up until the minute they go to sleep at night to relieve, to reduce or eliminate their medication. Unless they have that burning desire that somehow gets instilled in them without the Skolnikoff method, it's very, very difficult. However, we have the Skolnikoff method. My name is Dr. Ilya Skolnikoff, which is very fortunate. So with the Skolnikoff method, it's really not that difficult to get off the medications. But in your case, again, you're actually not the rule to this. You're more of the exception. You're taking, you told me, not on this video, but webinar, but you're taking podcast. I mean, you're taking about 5 separate prescription medications. That's not easy. What we have?
Probably like 6.
Okay. So here's what we do. You already know that since you're watching this,
I feel guilty. We talk about, what you're talking about, and then I'm taking a lot of medication to be able to function at a high level, and so it's not what I want for people or for myself.
Yeah, the medications are, I guess we have to talk about the medications, huh? Okay.
Yeah, you really don't want to, but
We only have like 17 minutes left, but according to the way you scheduled it. Huh?
17 minutes?
That's what you'd said. I don't know.
20 minutes.
20 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens is this. So Daniel here, he has the 6 medications and he needs them. And medications are now that you got this program, I mean, I think you should know the truth. There is no such thing as a medication deficiency.
Really? I would agree with you.
Okay. It's okay if you don't, but I'm glad you do.
I would agree.
There is no such thing. So if you, or if you're seeing this and you're thinking, okay, I'm using one, or my friend uses one and I thought they really needed it. No, they don't need it. We've been duped, we've been lied to, we've been scammed, and we've been convinced by the Rockefellers who created this huge drug cartel. They didn't start it, they started it right a little after the turn of the century. So before that, they were not as big and powerful as they are today, but they had 1,000 homeopathic pharmacies just right here in the United States before, right at the turn of the century. And the homeopaths were getting the sickest of the sick well with one homeopathic remedy and one treatment visit. I mean, and they were charging a lot of money. And the medical doctors who did not use homeopathy didn't have nearly those results. There's actually, from the death records, we know, a lot of us now all over the world, we realize that this coronavirus is a part of our lives, whether it's a good or bad thing, whether it's real or fake. It's a big part of our lives, regardless of how you want to look at it. And during the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic, it was the chiropractors, especially in the state of Iowa, that were having 40 times better results at helping their patients to survive the Spanish flu than the medical doctors did. And those chiropractors that were using the additional, herbs and homeopathy and nutrition that we use with the Skolnikoff method were getting far, far, far more than 40 times better results at helping their patients survive the Spanish flu. So from the 1917, 1918. At any rate, we've all been convinced that, we can't function without these medications. And some of us can't because we're ill. And there is a time and place for everything. And, but remember, we were surviving just fine in 1917, 1916, 1915, 1905, 1903, even with cholera and even with all the problems we have had. So that they pretended that the vaccines were gonna help with polio, and they had a major decrease in the number of people who were dying of polio right after they introduced the vaccine here in the United States. But what they don't tell you is that in Amsterdam and other parts of the world where polio was really high and they did not introduce the vaccine, the incidence of polio came down just as quickly, if not faster, than they did here in the United States, because there's a bell curve for any kind of a disease or pandemic or outbreak of any sort or another.
You think we
At any rate,
hit the top of the curve yet here in the U.S.?
For what? For coronavirus?
Coronavirus, yeah.
Coronavirus is a scamdemic. It's not a real pandemic. There is a virus, and it's called SARS-CoV-2, and it's a coronavirus, and it's new, and it's different, and it's unique, and people have gotten sick, and people have died, I should say, but it's not an actual pandemic, which means that a large percentage of people who get the thing get sick and die. Lots of people have gotten this. They're not sick. They're not dying. They're not having a problem. Some people get sick for a day or two. Some people a week. Some people an hour. And some people are elderly. They do just fine. We had the president of the United States get the thing. He seemed to be pretty okay. It's the people who are exposed to too much radiation, like 5G, right? That's what a lot of the experts are saying, is that because 5G is now out, there's way more radiation than there ever was before 5G, and there's some type of direct relationship between the 5G and this SARS-CoV-2.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. We don't have 5G here in Fargo, North Dakota yet. We're still at.
Well, viruses are a little mysterious. It's basically the sloughing off of very toxic genetic material. So it doesn't have to be transferred the same way. It can be, but it doesn't have to be transferred the same way as a bacteria would be, or a parasite, or an amoeba. It's a little bit different. So you don't have to go and swallow it or lick it or anything like that. You can just get it almost spontaneously if you get too much poison in your system. So again, they've never actually isolated this SARS-CoV-2 in a lab. So whether or not it exists is actually a controversy. I think it does exist. I mean, I've heard some things from some of my colleagues, and I've had some patients come in with some symptoms that I helped them with. They got better quickly, but it seems that there is something that you could identify as being different. That's a new kind of a virus. But again, it has not actually been isolated in a lab, so it's a little premature to have a name for it and to shut down the whole world, because of it. Especially with a survival rate of 99.96 or 99.96%. I mean, we're talking about almost everybody survives this thing, and 80% of the people, over 80% of the people who get it don't even notice that they're getting it. I mean, it's just absurd. So nothing to really discuss here. It's not really what we're talking about here. But the six,
note.
huh?
That was just a side note. It was interesting to
Yeah.
hear about it.
No worries. So the 6 medications, you know, we want to not need them. We want to get off them. How do we get off them? With the Skolnikoff method. How does the Skolnikoff method work? Well, this is how it works. We're identifying what's imbalanced using traditional healthcare. It's called diagnosis. And then we treat the underlying cause of whatever the problem is. So for instance, with Daniel, we figured out that he was eating some wheat and some corn. Didn't really know about that yet, but wait a second. Did you send in the history of dietary food intake form to me yet?
I did. See, I had trouble with wheat, but I didn't think I had trouble with corn because I've had food sensitivity testing done before. And
Well, it didn't show up.
I don't do well with sugar. And I cut out wheat completely. I did have a little tiny bit of corn because I had a tortilla this week. But
that's what I'm saying, is that you ate it. I'm not saying you know that it's bad or good, but you ate it. And now I'm explaining that it causes diarrhea, dermatitis, depression, and dementia, a couple of which you already suffer from. That's among everyone. That's well documented in research. They know that from a study they did with, I guess they had about 40 different prisoners that they took in the 1940s. They said, look, we're going to give you your freedom if you want to participate in the study. All you have to do is go through this study for a couple months and we'll give you your freedom, you know? So they took these 40 prisoners and they had them just eat corn and corn products. I think they gave them a little something else. It wasn't just corn. Every day, as much as they wanted to, for a couple months. And sure enough, they came down with all of the B vitamin deficiencies like pellagra and protein deficiency syndrome, and different kinds of mainly B vitamin deficiencies that were really severe. They started having depression and dementia and diarrhea and all this kind of thing, dermatitis.
That makes a lot of sense because B vitamins, I've always taken B complex and that's always helped me.
We're not treating the symptoms. We want to get rid of the symptoms. We're treating what's causing the symptoms.
Yeah, we want to get rid of the corn.
Yeah, we want to get rid of the corn. I'm just trying to find Daniel Pazarski to see, why did I miss your thing of reading? I have you here, I just don't see. So you sent that over to me, right?
I think I sent it to you.
Let me look real quick. Yeah, so I'm missing that. I just checked your email.
Oh, so maybe I forgot that one.
Yeah. So it's always the most important thing that we all struggle with, like, whatever that thing is. So in Daniel's case, it's food, right?
I must not have printed that one out.
Okay.
That must be why.
They're not, hopefully, the listener's not going to have to print anything, really, I hope, for their sake. Oh, right. So you guys see the list of waters? Any water questions? So with the medications, like I said, most of my listeners won't be taking a whole lot of medications. If they are, they'll be paying more. It costs more money because it takes more time and energy and more commitment. Also, this is a guaranteed, more or less, system to help you with your chronic fatigue. If you can't get over your chronic fatigue, I'm offering to treat you in person in our healing center a number of times at no additional charge. And Daniel's coming out at some point to get treated so we can.
I think I'm going to come out for my birthday. It's on January 11th, and that's going to be my birthday present to myself.
All right.
And hopefully California will be kind of opened up more and not crazy like it is. Because I love that area of California.
Yeah, I'm in California and I'm open, but I'm not sure what's happening with the rest of my my people over here. It's a little it's a little odd what's been happening. There's some people who are living their normal lives, but other people don't seem to be able to. Okay, so any questions about you should drink about a quart for every 50 pounds of body weight after you start using the herbs and or nutrition that we send you. And then depending upon the program that you're on, if you are prescribed homeopathy, which is a very advanced program, that means that you'll be needing to drink extra water, probably quite a bit more than that for a few days right after you use your homeopathy. So any questions on these? Are they able to see these things? It's basically Crystal Geyser, Whole Foods 365 day, everyday value spring water, Starkey's, Aquapana, Panna. It's made by the Pellegrino Company. Roxane spring water, Trader Joe's spring water, Voss. It's better to get Voss in glass because I say it below just to drink out of glass. But also, I think it's not very good when it's in the plastic container. Just be careful of that. And then there's Mayacamas in this local area, Alhambra spring water, not the reverse osmosis, but the spring water. And then there's the Purely Sedona artesian spring water, which is really great. Don't drink sparkling water because it's associated with bone disease. So you don't really want to do that. We don't want to encourage bone disease.
So
the research shows that.
Water and La Croix and all those?
Those are not really water. Those are just flavored, what was water once, and then they raped and pillaged the water and they put a flavor in it. So now it's not water anymore.
Yeah,
it's
I
added flavors and things like that. And the pH is changed. Remember, our blood has to be about 7, has to be a balanced pH. Approximately, I don't have the exact pH for our blood, but I thought it was about 7, but I'm not really sure. So if your blood becomes too alkaline or too acidic quickly, you actually die right away. So we have a whole buffer system in our body that allows it to not get too acidic or alkaline. It's called the carbonic anhydrase system, and it's regulated with zinc. So zinc is very important. But anyway, the point is that I'm not trying to just get people to listen to me while I talk. The point is that it matters what kind of water you drink, and it matters what the pH of the water is.
Yeah, I got little strips and I started testing everything, and the bubbly water was like a pH of 6. Like a water that has some sort of sugar in it, like pH of 3.
Do they get real acidic then?
Yeah. So then you get too acidic, which increases inflammation also, correct? Like systemic.
Well, either way, too alkaline or too acidic. I mean, either one wouldn't be good. Yeah, it's not that one is better or worse.
That's really the hype. Everybody wants alkaline water. They say it cures cancer and this and that.
It's the opposite. Yeah. So what I've found among my patients, and again, I'm only an expert in this. Okay. So
that's it.
What it's worth, but is that not all of them, but the majority of them are too, they're too alkaline. Their digestive tract, at least, is too alkaline. So with an overly alkaline digestive tract, they're susceptible to mold, yeast, fungus, and candida infections. And this is just interesting and important also. If they're susceptible to mold, yeast, fungus, and candida infections, that means if they were to take probiotics, which are alkaline, then they're going to become even more alkaline. So my favorite patient friend of all patient friends that exist on the planet, Daniel Pozarnsky. Are you taking any kind of a probiotic that we did not prescribe to you by any chance?
Yep. Well,
Daniel Pozarnsky.
Hey, but like I am a believer in probiotics, so and I just took I just on antibiotics, which kill all my good bacteria. So yes, I was taking some.
Okay.
So I shouldn't be taking probiotics. I didn't know.
You're helping me a lot. Without you, I'd be screwed. Like nobody's going to listen to me. Nobody's going to care what I have to say. It's not going to make any sense. But you're keeping me focused here. You're gonna make this hard. You're gonna keep me on my toes. I'm like I'm like on the edge of my seat here.
That's right.
Okay.
So no
So-
probiotics. Gotta take that out.
Huh?
I gotta take that out of the diet or out of the supplement.
Skolnikoff, Dr. George Goodhart, who was the he was the founder, I should say, of professional applied kinesiology, which is the main system of diagnosing and treating that we use in the office. It's way more complex than a professional applied kinesiology, but anyway, that's the foundation of it. He said, the body is intricately simple and simply intricate. And what he meant by that is that the body responds to specific input. And the most important part is to diagnose. It's to understand what's wrong and how the therapy, then you provide the therapies. So we don't provide therapies first and then diagnose second. We don't, hand out Prozac and other kind of meds and see, does it help the person or did they just commit suicide? Like Peter Bregan talks about, the well-known psychiatrist who wrote, Toxic Psychiatry and Talking Back to Prozac and other similar books.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, we diagnose, then we provide the therapy, and then we observe the result. So I know it's hard to imagine how all that works just over the phone, but it works really, really well through video, Skype, Zoom, and over the phone. So yeah, I would avoid any of these things that are really, I don't have your form here with your supplements that you're taking, so I can't really refer to it, but
medication. I was going to send that to you.
Huh?
I had it on another document, but it was on my computer at home that I was working on last night. I can get that to you for next time.
Yeah, no worries.
We're making this into a series, folks.
Unless did I ever text it to you? No. Yeah, here it is. It's right here. Okay. Iodometer, sinus forte, Drenamin, and Cataplex ACP. So basically, you're too alkaline. So sometimes you have some digestive trouble. And so if you have anything like that's fermented, it'll make you more sick. Or if you have digestive enzymes or probiotics, those will make you more sick. Really? So just imagine this, Daniel and whoever's watching. If we were to just help our friend Daniel here with these other three things, his blood sugar, his digestion, his protein, not just a little bit of water, but the blood sugar, the digestion, the protein. We take him off the apple cider vinegar. We take him off the probiotics. We take him off the digestive enzymes, all of which are making him either too alkaline or too acidic. They're introducing tons of bad, terrible bacteria, as well as good bacteria, but that good bacteria, it's not going to work. We need to have the healthy soil first. And then when we have healthy soil, that's when we plant the seeds in the healthy soil. So we want to establish healthy soil. I gave him a few supplements. It's not that they're the perfect healthy soil supplements, but he had that infection and now we're, getting over the infection. This is for weakened immunity and exhaustion. Iodomere is an iodine supplement. Sinus forte is for the infection itself, some herbs like echinacea and golden seal and stuff. Drenamin is for exhaustion. Cataplex ACP is also for exhaustion. So
I noticed the Cataplex really made a difference.
The Cataplex ACP?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And that helps with low back pain. I don't know if you had any, but it helps if you did. And it helps with the bladder and stuff, but that's a whole other story. So
should I continue on with those supplements or do we got to switch to some new ones now?
Yeah, we're going to switch to some new ones soon, but you should continue them until you run out of them.
Yeah, I'm almost out.
Yeah, and then I can send you, we can do the same thing we did. Let's not talk about it right now, but like after we're done with the podcast, we can send you some.
Yeah.
We can go over the new ones.
And then we'll.
But the highest good is to find the cause, according to Hippocrates, who is the father of modern medicine. And we're finding Daniel's cause, right? Corn, wheat, probiotics, vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and digestive enzymes, all of which are not right for him, right? Everything, and like Goodhart said, the body is intricately simple and simply intricate. So we're doing specific therapies that are custom tailored just to Daniel. If you're watching this, they're custom tailored just to you, okay? but pay attention, because when we talk on the phone and we, send you an email, read through the email. There's no reason to necessarily second guess what we're doing. The reason why this is so expensive, and at least in my opinion, I don't know if you agree or not, but the reason it's so expensive is because it works. Okay.
Is
It
it?
works really well, but you have to follow the exact system.
I would say not expensive. It's just an investment in yourself.
Well, the reason it's so much money is because your health is valuable and we want you to take it seriously, and it's well worth it. And yeah. What happened to my path? Oh, we'll go back to the path to health chart.
Invest in yourself, then that's what I always tell my patients. If you invest in yourself, then you can do the things that really give your life meaning that you may not be able to do because of your issues, your low back pain or
Sure.
mental health issues or allergy issues.
Absolutely. So your consciousness is in your pocketbook, or your pocket. Yeah. So we're going to make sure to access your consciousness through your pocketbook. And, if you are paying much less, you might just overlook a lot of what we're talking about. But since it's costing a fair amount of money, we want to make sure we have your attention and that you're going to follow through on the water, protein, blood sugar, and digestive changes that'll bring us from the symptoms to the feeling good. Now, believe me, it's okay if you want to go a little slow. We can go faster, we can go slower. It's up to you. So like Daniel, for example, he has a lot going on. He has a really busy clinic. He has a lot of developments in his life. He's been busier with more developments and more stress in his life than almost any other point of his life just during the last 12 months or so. So, he's going at his pace. If you have less stress in your life than he does, you can go at your pace. Okay. So I guess and the main lifestyle changes are water, not just water, not just blood sugar, protein, and digestion. But remember, if we're bringing back an infection with some vinegar that's loaded up with bacteria and some digestive enzymes and probiotics that are too alkaline, then that's going to upset our ability to take in the nutrients in the foods that we're eating, which is going to upset our blood sugar. So each of these is related to the other one of these. Okay. They're not just isolated lifestyle changes. They're not generalized lifestyle changes. They're not random lifestyle changes. These lifestyle changes that will bring us from the symptoms to feeling good are specific just to you. Okay. We're doing like this podcast just for you. Okay. It may seem like, since it's not live, maybe you're watching it and it's not live, like it's for just whoever's watching it, but it's just for you. It's specific just to you. Okay. We're going to diagnose exactly what herbs or nutrition you need specifically for you. It's not like a one size fits all approach. It's not the same herbs and nutrition we give everyone. It'll be specific just to you. Daniel is taking, I can show you what he's taking if you want to see what he's taking. He's taking a few things.
You showed us that. You just showed us that.
I just showed them that.
Yeah, you showed us that. It's like 5
Yeah.
minutes ago.
So anyway, hallelujah. He's taking these 4 things and they're specific just to him. Okay. So this sheet has a name. It's called the, what is that sheet called? It's called the patient schedule, I think.
Standard process patient prescription form or something like that. I've seen it before when I've looked at their products and looked at some of their courses.
Oh my God, I don't have it here. Let's find it. This is embarrassing.
Next time, we kind of covered water this time.
Okay.
Why don't we next time like cover protein or digestion and how that it's linked to the process of healing me or the person listening, and update them on, now I'm going to take out digestive enzymes and probiotics and no more apple cider vinegar and see what happens.
Yeah, let's give it an experience. Okay. So if they're wanting to see that sheet, I don't know. Yeah, basically they can just get that sheet from my website too. Let me just show them what it looks like. I'm just kind of,
.com is Dr. Ilya Skolnikoff's website.
yeah.
.net. Tridefhealth.net, correct?
Yeah, tridefhealth.net. So if they go to the new patient forms, they could do that if they want. But anyway, it's called the system survey form.
System
No,
survey.
that's
Okay.
not it. My bad. It's called the patient schedule, like I said. So that's the form that Daniel had there. And you could see he was taking a few nutrients. So over here is the name of the product. It was either an herb, so right, or it would have been a nutritional supplement. And then it says when he takes it, okay, and then it says whether he chews it or just swallows it. And then, yeah, and then if there's any special instructions, let's hope that it would be written here. Okay, very, very, very simple form. Okay, so that's called the patient schedule.
Great. All right.
He knows what to take and when to take it, so he's not confused about it.
Exactly. So we'll stop right there for this episode. We're gonna make this into a series of the Skolnikoff Method for Health, reviving Dr. Dan
Medicine.
podcast. And we'll be back with Dr. Ilya Skolnikoff in about four weeks, and we'll check in then.
Very good.
Dr. Ilya?
That's me.
All right, let's do that.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining the podcast.
Thank
Dr.
you
Dan's Power Hour.
for being on. Okay.